Okay, guys, I think this one is going to be part 4 of Tuesday's night review packet. Sorry the posting is so late, but I decided to continue with it anyway because we can always do more in class together, and during advisory or something, you can actually just watch these videos in order to get done some work to prepare you better for the exam. All right, so here we go. With this one, we're going to write the numbers in descending order. So that means we're going to go from least to greatest, okay? The easiest way to do these is to change them all into decimals or whole numbers, okay? So the 0, we don't have to change. You're going to look for this, and so remember, I know you're not familiar with square roots or anything, so I'll be able to help you with that, or you can use a calculator for that part. Okay, because the square root 2 is going to be a decimal answer of like, can't see writing that to white, like 1.41, and I'm just going to leave it at that for right now because that's pretty much all you're going to need. Square root of 5, remember the easiest thing to do with these is to change them all over into decimals. That way you can figure out the order from least to greatest. So square root of 5 we're going to use as, this is not going to be a perfect square, like 2 point, let's say 2.3. And then you're going to change this in proper fraction into a decimal answer. Now you should know how to do that because that was all of yesterday's information right here. So I'm going to convert this way so it looks in the same format that you've seen it in class. 4, we're going to 13 3 times because 4 times 3 is 12. I have 1 left over. Add my decimal. Now I got 4 and a 10. 4 goes into 10 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Add a 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. I actually terminate it, but this you now can see as 3.25. And now we can write these in ascending order from least to greatest. So also, almost forgot about, you see that? It's a negative answer. So that one's going to be first because it's negative, okay? So I have negative 1.41, and actually we're going to write them as the original numbers that was presented to us. So this, then 0, because everything else are positive numbers. Now 2.23 or 3.25. 2.23, and then 3.25. And actually, I'm going to do this as its original formation that was presented to us, which is square root of 5. And this, as it was originally presented to us, as 13 over 4. So you have this, then this, then this. That's a 5. Sorry about the bad handwriting, but you know I did this right with a mouse, and I'm tired. And 13 over 4. Okay, so you would actually do the same thing for these to figure out which ones are going, which one is the numbers are increasing order. This, or this. I'm not going to do this one for you. You would make sure that everything is in a decimal, which is except this one, right? And remember, I will help you with those when we are in class, okay? So for this one, I'll even tell you, like, the square root of that one is, it's not a perfect square, so it's going to be an estimation of 2.64. And with this, you can now put them in order from least to greatest to see if this is the correct order. Is it? I have a negative here. You can already tell that it's not because the negatives are not in the front. Okay? I got some negatives in the front, and we already know that this one is now 2.64. See that? I got my negatives in the front. Okay? But make sure the negatives are in order as well. And then now that I've given you the answer to this part, you can now figure out which one goes in order from least to greatest. Choice A, C, B, or D. A, B, C, or D. And go ahead and figure that one out for me. Okay? So remember, if everything's in a decimal form, it's easy to figure out from least to greatest. So I'm going to let you take a look at those and figure that one out on your own. Shouldn't be as complicated by now. And then for the graphing part, just in case you see one of these questions on there, Again, change everything to a decimal. That's already a decimal, negative 0.2. This, let's convert that, shall we? 0.0. 10 goes into 7D, 7 times 0. So this is 0.7. I'll change it right here, 0.7 or 7D, okay? And then you have this. You don't have to worry about converting that one. And square root of 2, remember what we had done before. Not sure of square roots. I will help you out with that during exam and class. So this is going to be like 1.41 something. So 1.41 and a negative 4. Now that these are like this, it'll be very easy to place these on the chart. But make it even easier, I'm going to call this number letter A, letter B, C, D, and E. Okay? So let's look at the first one. Negative 0.2. So this is like negative 20 cents. So it's not even negative $1 yet. So right about here. A. This is 70 cents, but it's positive. Okay? So you know I'm going to be about this side. It's not even $1 yet. It's not even one whole. So a little bit past like halfway. That will be where B is. C, negative 1, right on the line. Remember, this is a positive 1.41, so it's past $1, but not exactly 50 cents. So it's not really halfway. So you're not really at $1.50 just yet. It's a little bit less than halfway, right about here. E, negative 4, right on the line. Hope that helps out. Moving on to the next page. Okay, don't let this page freak you out. What's going on here? These are our expressions. This is nothing but a picture type version of expressions. So almost kind of like matching your Legos. How many of these type of squares do you see that have x squared in it? You only see one. So I'm only going to write it once. How many x's do we have? 2. So plus 2x because they're positive. Okay? And then I have 3 positive 1s. So positive 1, positive 1, positive 1, positive 3. Done. This one, you only have 1 of a negative x squared. You have a positive x. Remember, 1s are invisible. And I have a negative 1 and a negative 1. Okay? So these are 2 negative 1s. Okay? So you can plus negative 2. You can do it this way. Okay? Or I've seen some students just don't even put the addition sign because that's fine too. So it would be negative x2 plus x minus negative 2. So it's okay if you write it this way or just write the negative 2 for this part. This one, I have 2 of these. So I have 2x squared, right? Okay? So either plus negative 2. See that again? Okay? This one, I have 1, 2, 3 of these, so 3. Okay? So that's where we are with that. So it makes this one easier to do. These pages just look very familiar to like November, where we're combining like terms. And this is the part where I had you take out highlighters and highlight each like term. You see, this is a 3x. That's an x. This is an x. So is this. Remember that invisible one. Okay? So what I have here is I'm going to combine these. This one I'll highlight too, but there's no like term like it. See that? Let me put a different color so you can see it better. There we go. So that one will remain separate. Add these together. Add your like terms. 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 1 is 6. So I have a bad color. I have 6x. That's positive. Can't combine it with anything else. So it's positive. 4x squared. Okay? So name the like terms in each list of terms. Okay? So these are your like terms. We just combined them together. Same thing with what you're going to do over here. I have A's and I have B's. Okay? So 2 plus 3, 3, 4, 5 A's plus 5 B. There we go. Our next ones. All right, so this is just a picture version of this. So we're going to simplify each polynomial using the model. That's fine. So I'm going to simplify these, means I need to combine all the like terms, okay? This is like, and do you have any more a squares? Okay, do you have any more a squares? Yes, you do, even though this one is negative. So we're going to combine positive 1 and a positive 1. That's 2 so far. Minus 1. Put the a in there so it doesn't confuse you. Minus 1a squared. So 2 minus 1 gives me a positive 1a squared. Remember, the ones don't even have to be shown. The other like terms that we have, a negative a and a positive, positive, and a positive. Okay? These together make 3 positive a's. Okay? So I have 3 positive a's plus a negative a. Right? If you combine those, you'll end up with 3 minus 1, 2. And it's going to be a positive 2 for your answer. Positive 2a. That's what's left over. You have 3 of these, and you're going to take one of them away. Okay? 3 of these, take one of them away, you're going to have 2. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do here is, actually I'm not going to do that. Let me just go to the second one. I'll explain more about this one in class though. But because it says to use the model, so that's why I'm using the model and not combining them this way. I have to go look at my x's. Those are x's. Here's an x, here's an x, here's an x. Okay? So with my x's, I combine those. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. Okay? Take a look at the other ones we have. I have a negative y, a negative y, a negative y, a negative y, and a positive y. Okay? So basically, another way you can look at it too is that one of these cancels out the positive one. So how many do we have left over? 1, 2, 3. 3 what? 3 negative y's. See that? Okay? Or you're looking at it as negative 3 plus 1. If I do that down here, or negative, it was negative 4 originally. Negative 4y plus a positive y. And as you know with your integer rules, a negative plus a positive, subtract, keep the sign of the larger number. Negative 3y. That's exactly what we have here. All right. Last couple parts of this. Combining the like terms. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one simply because this is something we spend so much time on in class. I got a few minutes left of this recording. I'm trying to make this the last recording for part 2 of the exam. I have 4x. There's my x's. And these are my other like terms. Let's combine. 4 plus 2 is 5x. A positive 3 and a positive 4 means I'm going to add them. So that's 7. Done. Next I'm going to combine the x squares. X squares are here, x squares are here, and x squared here. So basically what I have is a negative 2, a negative 1, and a negative 1. Okay? Start with these two. A negative, right, combined with a negative is a negative. See that? A negative plus a negative. Remember, the word combine is going to mean really addition. So that one's going to be a negative. Negative 3. X squared is what I have so far. It takes out this one, takes out this one. Now I have to do this. Okay? Combining this. Remember, combining means adding. So I have an arrow. Here we go. Okay? So now I have a negative and still a negative 1. So altogether I have a negative 3 and this negative invisible 1. I have negative 4x squared when I combine all of those. This is the other like term. Can't combine with anything, so I gotta leave it here. Practice these, my friends. Running out of time, can't do more in the video, and I will see you in class. No worries. You got this.